I beg you not to get this flu because it's absolutely horrible. I'm still sick as a dog. I'm actually worse yesterday than I was the day before. Today I'm somewhere in the middle. Not that you asked. Uh, you get so bogged down because I have to do everything in this house and, take care of everything. And, I get backed up on work and then it just becomes impossible. I was doing leather work before doing this, sick and still slightly dizzy. That's a problem. In getting emotional in this video, it's not, I feel that way and I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it, but sometimes maybe it's good acting, right? Not that I ever try to be an actor, but in this video, if you see me getting emotional, I'm actually extremely kind of like a placid lake. I just do that for effect or for emphasis, but I also do strongly feel that way. By the way, just as a side note, because people like to bludgeon me over the head about it, I don't have a house in Florida anymore. My parents need a place to retire to, so people always you say, I hear it all the time. They're like, "Oh, you got 2 houses," My Florida house I bought after my wife died for like $32,000 when housing was really, really, really cheap in 2010. And then I had this dumpy little house, so nobody can beat me over the head anymore about having 2 houses. And then you say to me, well, who cares what people think? And I don't. But nobody has that opportunity to do it anymore, so I don't have 2 houses. I like to say before starting this what's going on video, and I love to read all your comments. And I know there's some complete liars, an enormous amount of them on you. Hey, I appreciate your comment. They're just flapping their lips. They're talking out of their behinds. They don't read the comments. They read them all, and sometimes it takes many hours. And boy, oh boy, am I serious, it takes many, many hours. But I suck in that information, and if it's relevant and I can actually verify it, I'll retransmit it, as it were. And other people read comments, too, about what's going on in the world, so that's helpful. The one thing that's going to get us through all of this horrific reset evil... You will eat the bugs! You will own nothing! Ja! Machen Sie schnell! Get us through all this. I'm going to edit that out. Get us through all of this is sticking together. They want to treat you and me like mushrooms, which is feed us crap and keep us in the dark. Yeah, that's exactly what the government wants to do. Treat you like a mushroom. Something else is very horrific. I can say this as an American citizen. And it makes me extremely disgusted, more than you'll ever know. And it makes my backside pucker. There's a thought for you, right? They're quoting over in CH, I still got the flu. Over in China, they're quoting Patrick Henry, one of the founders, United States. In China, they're quoting... yelling out, actually, a bunch of them. You can go look this up. Give me liberty or give me death. I just want you to think about that for a second. You have all these spineless, brainwashed, neophyte socialist D-bags in the United States. And they are. They're spineless D-bag neophyte socialists. Hardcore. And by the way, if you think communism is something different than socialism, you are clueless! You are so clueless. Was that over the top? It might have been over the top. You're totally clueless. There's a reason why the third S there in CCCP was Союз Советский Социалистических Республик. The third word in Russian is socialist. Communism, socialism. Can you just think about that for a second? These spineless D-bag Americans, praising like, socialism, great, it's great stuff. They think what's going wrong in the United States, by the way, is capitalism, and they're also stupid. And capitalism ruins everything. No, you're confusing capitalism, wait for it, with corporatism. I am not stupid. I don't confuse capitalism with corporatism. You think, this is politics. That fat bald-tattooed guy's talking about politics. I'm not. I'm talking about having a simple life. I want to talk about ultimate truth here and get on to some horrific things that are going on right now, and you can go look them up yourself, please God. By the way, I was stuck in traffic today for 1 hour. really pissed me off. Somebody like ran a light, got hit, totally flipped the car upside down, couldn't move, couldn't back up, couldn't do anything. Thankfully I got a truck. I was able to drive over the median and get out, so it took an hour to do that. A lot of you Europeans are telling me that your friends, if not yourselves, are choosing between food and fuel this winter. That is you telling me that via email and comment. I never basically ever get Bitcoin donations. I got like $80 donation last week, Bitcoin. And I wanted to sell it, just so I could buy food, and I did. I bought food. Bought food with it. I sold it to a British guy. And very, very, very nice. And he said, Ken, he said, basically what I said, that people are starving and or freezing. You pick between which you want. You want to starve or you want to freeze. And there's something huge, by the way, that just happened on the EU and also too in the Netherlands. Yeah, excuse me. Let me get that right. People the folks always keep correcting me. You're supposed to say the Netherlands. Yeah. The Netherlands. Absolutely horrific. Did you see the thing about central bank digital currency from Rishi Sunak? There's a video out there about they are working undeniably 100% on digital currency. The Fed has confirmed this. Some other government entities in the United States confirmed this. Not a conspiracy. It's a hardcore fact. I sold everything that I don't need to have that wasn't glued down, and I bought land and diversified what very, very little amount of money that I have, and it's basically been chopped into nothing recently. This has been one of the worst months I could ever remember financially. I appreciate a lot of the advice you guys gave me. I just got a $615 car insurance bill. Thankfully, I've only got one vehicle now, thank God. And, a huge bill that hits. I'm going to try to... Anyway, I talk about that. I've got a lot of advice and a couple lawyers that have helped me on that. But me with, I have no house payment, no car payment, and I do work 7 days a week. I mean, what was I doing before this video? I don't know. I think a lot of you think, and I'm not being accusatory, think that I don't know what you think. Maybe I just that fat guy makes videos and he reads comments. That's all he does. No, I mean, just, here, let me reach over here and grab it. This is for a guy in Canada. It's a green alligator belt. I'm all out of alligator. This is not totally done yet. It still looks rough. I mean, it's about 75% done, but this is what I was doing before I started this this video. So I do have several jobs. I do work, product photography, leather work, micro wallets, holsters, belts. If I'm struggling like this, and I notice people are getting crazy out there, and this Lexington is a perfect, it's not like crazy left like up in Jersey or California, and it's not like, I don't know, Houston, Texas, or, just think of some place where you think everybody is like a Dukes of Hazzard or something. The two far end spectrums of the United States. This place is very normal. It's a college town, got a good economy, and people are getting crazy here. It's absolutely palpable out there. So yeah, a lot of you Europeans have emailed me and told me in comments and other places, including some on phone call, how bad it's actually getting. Here's the ultimate truth, and I know this quiet quitting stuff that's going on. I'd like to get to the important point here really quickly. I'm sorry I'm kind of dragging my butt on that. I'm going to blame it on the flu. So sorry. This world is not supposed to be like that. I mean, I have a roof over my head. I'm obviously not starving since I'm fat, but you're not supposed to work yourself to death just so you have a couple years to catch your breath before you kick the bucket. The world isn't supposed to be that way. It's like the harder you work, the more deep in debt and slavery you go. You remember that old War Games movie where the computer finally has an epiphany and says the best move is to not play the game? Remember that? That's really kind of it should be on a bumper sticker for really everybody today. It's like, well, how do you pay the bills? You got to feed yourself. That is my backup plan. I have a little cabin, some land. I know how to plant food. I know how to do a lot of stuff, make things, build things, fix things. This is going to end, and it's going to end soon. I mean, it just is. If somebody like me with no house payment, no car payment, no wife, and no kids is struggling to make it. I know, and I see it. People out there are hurting bad. I mean, they freaking are. It's better to live like a homeless bum in the forest than sacrifice your life for some fake fiat money. It's impossible to get ahead. What the so I don't care what Gen Ys, Gen Zs, I don't give a damn. Every generation with a half a brain sees what's going on right now. It's impossible to freaking get ahead no matter how hard you work. And I don't believe in being lazy. I know I'm fat and tattooed and I look like, the comic book guy from The Simpsons. Maybe I look like that. He had more hair than I do, though. It's just impossible to get ahead. It's far, far easier to at least have a roof over your head and do nothing. And make something of your life. I mean, learn a skill or do something. And it's just, and no, I'm not suffering from some sort of, euphoria from having the flu. I mean, I'm like about 75% over it. It's just so bad. It's just so bad. And I know we had it better than our grandparents. They literally did walk to school in deep snow, and their lives were a lot tougher. We're not made out of the tough stuff like they were. I mean, that is undeniable. But regardless of that fact, if we brought those same people to the future and they realized that they could work as hard as they did back then and still just like barely make it, it's like, well, this is ridiculous. You have to work half the year to pay off the government and the property taxes and the house insurance and car insurance. Things that normal people that work hard and pay their taxes, they never want anything from the government. They just want to be left alone. It's like, take your tax money, your blood money, and take a flying effing leap over there. Jump in a bottomless pit of fire. They want nothing to do with you. Pay my taxes, piss off. By the way, here's a new thing from the IRS that starts in January. It doesn't affect me because, I sell leather goods and stuff through PayPal, so mine has always been reported to the IRS. They actually do it automatically. I have no control over that. That's starting in January, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, yada yada. If you got a little side gig, a side hustle, the IRS wants to know, you must file everything over $600. Isn't that going to be lovely? Don't forget about all those IRS agents, the countless thousands and dozens of thousands of those fools that they're actually hiring. This is horrible out of the Netherlands. And what makes this even more horrible, well, I grabbed my crystal ball here, right? Yeah, I just got this because it was really cheap. Like I got for $30, I think, or something. No, I don't want you to think I use a crystal ball. The most efficient farmers on planet Earth. You can take the best farmer in the United States, and he's about like an average Dutch farmer. So the Netherlands, the government, and this is where the lie is, they're going to buy out and close over 3,000 farms to meet climate goals. Nitrogen, right? Nitrogen is necessary for life. So is carbon dioxide. See, plants and everything that grows needs CO2 and nitrogen. And yet this is what these fools, want to stop. These are the most efficient farmers on earth in the Netherlands. And they're not buying them out. They're actually robbing them. All the articles you'll actually see, and go look this up, just type in 3,000 farms Netherlands. Yeah? They're not buying them out. They're twisting their arm, and they literally got jack boots on, and they have their jack boots on the necks of the farmers in the Netherlands. This buyout stuff, that type of buyout is like back in the mob days, where Vinny would show up, Vinny had a scar on his face. Vinny would show up like, hey, you got you a payment this month for your protection money? Like, no. Oh, we're going to buy you out, or you're going to wind up, your family is going to wind up dead next week. It's like, oh, okay, I'll sell you my business. That's not a buyout. That's a jackbooted thug move by the government of the most efficient farmers on earth. My heart bleeds for the Netherlands, and by the way, those farmers in the Netherlands, and apparently a lot of them watch me, which I find ironic from a tiny little country. Great people, by the way. There's quite a few of them here in Kentucky. There's a lot of people here in the United States that are watching that, and I've been spreading around to everybody. The exposure on that needs to be all over the place, and it's nowhere. Same thing with the huge info dump from Elon Muskrat. Remember, the big thing people have been saying for years and years was a total lie. Turns out to be 1,000% true. You know, the big tsunami of information dump from Elon Muskrat. Yeah, I think that's his last name. Yeah, Elon Muskrat's big info dump. Anybody reporting on that? No, it's not important. Oh no, that'd be like the biggest story of the century, but nobody's talking about that. Wonder why. You smoke on my fake pipe and think about that for a second. So the IRS is going to stick their jackboot on your neck starting next year, just January, but just less than a month away. Here's the horrible one. The EU agrees to set $60 price cap level for Russian oil exports. Go look that up, Russian oil exports. Which basically means they're not going to buy any oil, which means everybody's going to freeze to death. Yeah, the EU agrees to set a $60 price cap level for Russian oil exports. Thinking about cutting off uranium, also to the EU, I mean, that makes it hard to... I'm not going to get it from the United States. We're not actually making any refined uranium for nuclear plants, all information says. So, yeah, the EU just popped a cap, busted a cap in their foot. Actually, it's a little bit higher than their foot. Set $60 price cap level for purchasing of Russian oil exports. Absolutely unbelievable. Please, God, if you're young, take some advice, because I'm not selling you anything other than like maybe leather goods or something, right? Never trust the government. Some are worse than others. Never trust them. Please, God. Please. It's run by boobs, morons, and demons. Your compliance keeps these people in power. Your compliance is the only thing that keeps them in power. They're brainwashing your children. You're paying property taxes, most of which goes to public schools, and the public schools are used to brainwash your children, your most valuable asset. Now, you would never, if you're some rich guy and you had like a vault full of gold bricks or something, you would never like leave it open and like let people borrow your gold bricks, would you? No? What's more valuable if you're a halfway decent human? What's more valuable than your valuable assets, your diamonds, your gold? I thought it would be your children. You actually send these people, your children, excuse me, so our people, of course, to public schools. What happens when you think about 10 things at once? You're sending your children to public schools to be brainwashed by demons. Why? It's like, I don't have time. Me and the wife got to work. It would be better to have incredible, not meaning mine, I'm not talking about me, incredible YouTube videos for your child to watch and go out and walk in the backyard for fresh air and go down to the library. Way better than that. Of course, that brings them up for open for danger, since, they're, roaming about free. Please don't let your children be educated in a public school. It's not an education at all. That's where they open up their head and they turn them into jar heads. They fill them their heads full of facts and garbage, so they can pass tests and be good workers. They do not want your children to be thinkers. They want them to be robots, to be good line workers. Please, please, please. I don't know what to say about the Netherlands. It's literally like the government there is a corrupt Italian mob, or any mob, Russian mob, whatever. Okay, I'm not picking on the Italians. God, someone's always going to look for something to be butthurt about. Some Russian, Italian mob, whatever. They got their boot over the neck of the most efficient farmers on earth. Yeah, we're going to... This is the words used in all these sites about what's going on right now. These endless thousands of farms in the Netherlands. We're going to buy them out. No, you're not buying them out. You're threatening them. You're forcing them out. Over what? The one thing that plants and humans need? I forgot, but isn't most of what we breathe nitrogen? Don't plants grow better in carbon dioxide? Oh, why, yes they do. This is all lies, nonsense, propaganda, filth. This reminds me, and I wasn't around for that. I was when I was born. Jimmy Carter, he had this silly-ass video where he put on a fuzzy sweater. You know, the crypto commie that he was. Oh, you need to turn your thermostat down to 56 degrees and bundle up because we got an energy crisis and it's never going to get better. He does say something that was decades and decades and decades ago. Never going to get better, energy crisis. Meh. Total lies. Propaganda. Phil, put on your sweater. Turn your thermostat down 50. 56? What are you trying to do? Kill grandma and grandpa? 56 my ass! 56 degrees. I got lots of natural insulation and know how to, raise my body temperature. Even I can't tolerate 56 degrees in the house. This is the same sort of stinking, rancid, commie filth that Jimmy Carter was pulling. People say, hey, you're talking about politics now. I know I hate you. I'm going to unsubscribe. It's not politics. It's common sense. It's about working hard and not being oppressed by a bunch of satanic demons. I don't know if you know this or not, but we outnumber those demons by about 1 billion to 1. Why do people bend their will to tyranny? I know the answer to that. That was a rhetorical question, by the way. Yeah, so over in the Far East there. Yeah, they're literally, go look this up, don't take my word for it. They're literally chanting, give me freedom or give me death. And yet over here we got a bunch of weak-kneed, spineless jellyfish D-bags that have Karl Marx tattoos on their shoulder. Oh man, capitalism's bad. Capitalism's bad. What, compared to what? Compared to what, girlfriend? No, stop confusing capitalism with corporatism. I'm going to point out all the mass graves from Pol Pot and Lenin and every other tyrannical dictator on earth. This is what happens when you get a public education. You become a jello-brained douche. Mega douche, actually. You engage in groupthink. Bah, bah. Tell me what you think. I read every comment. I don't think this video was over the top. I would have made this video way over the top, but I'm suffering from the flu. Lux Veritas. Jesus frickin' Christ.